They're 6 feet under. They've met their maker. They are at peace now.
Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 259. It is the third day of the week, aka the Spirit Bomb workout. I am feeling pretty good. I am very happy right now. Finger hurts a little bit, but that's not even a whole other story. I hit it yesterday against something and now it hurts, so that was fun. But anyways, that's no big deal because today's big deal, the main subject matter for today, it is, I guess, I don't even know what to call this, brain rot language, but not really. It's not really brain rot language. It's more of just a censored language, I guess, is the best way to describe it. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I recently released a video, this one right here, about depression memes and how they become a rabbit hole. So when I first released the video, I called it depression memes, and then I realized, oh yeah, that's probably a no-no word. I gotta change it. So then I changed it to sad meme. Sad is also probably a no-no word. So I'm going to have to figure out a new title for it. And why is that? Because social media, not all of them, but a lot of them, a good chunk of them, they will guard what you say and make sure that whatever you're talking about has to use weird roundabout language in order to discuss anything of substance. It is quite literally annoying. I see it all the time. It is understandable because people want to make a buck off the internet. It is an unfortunate reality of the internet. That is why certain people will censor the words in a YouTube video, although sometimes they won't use the beep sound because they actually have now detect for that. So they know they are censoring it. So that's why they'll be creative with the censors nowadays, if you didn't already know that. I find it quite literally stupid, the fact that we can't say certain words on here that would make us demonetized, even though we're talking about things that happen in the world. There is a very famous event that happened in 2020 that we are not allowed to talk about at all, basically, because the moment that you do, our video either gets demonetized or your, it doesn't get any growth at all, or it gets that weird warning thing where it tells you, like, please learn more about it here, which is ridiculous because of the fact that I know for a fact everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say that, but I have to treat it like such an idiot because I can't say the words that are associated with it or else I get fucked. And even that, I can't say that either, which is insane to me. The only reason I'm even getting away with it is because I'm not monetized, but the moment I do, these types of things actually matter. Also, by the way, they stop paying attention for all the curse words after 10 minutes, so that's why you'll see more YouTubers get laxed if a video is longer than 10 minutes or so. They'll curse a little bit later in the video, or they'll let it slip because realistically, it doesn't fucking matter, but after a certain point. But it's a whole system that's happening, and I find it quite egregious and also stupid because we can never really discuss anything or actually have real life situations being talked about in social media. So I will talk more about some of the words, some of the things, some of the concepts that we're just not allowed to talk about or find backwards ass ways to talk about, because that is where we live nowadays, where we have to use things like emojis and pew pew as representations of other things, which is, I'm gonna hold myself. I'm gonna wait until we get downstairs, but just trust me, there's gonna be a lot of anger in this one because I find it very stupid. With that being said, I will see you in Mother Base.
Alright, so started this day off with an AD press, which was really good. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand here. Brain rot language is what I'm going to call this because it is the worst fucking type of things that happen. So the main reason why I wanted to talk about this was because of the fact that, like I said before, I had a video where I talked about depression, and that's one of the things that you're not allowed to discuss, really. You can't say depression, you can't say suicide, and you can't say COVID. All of these three things are things that you cannot even talk about in modern society without the society just coming down on you with a hard hammer. I don't even think anybody's going to really see this video because of the subject matter at hand. So that's why it pisses me off that we can't even discuss these types of things when we have to use these weird roundabout languages because people are too sensitive to understand the word suicide and also depression. The fact that COVID is censored is also interesting because it's been 5 years since that happened. And why is it still being fucked over? I don't understand. It seems that we have come to accept this. Of course, there's money involved here, and that is the main driver of it all. The reason why we cannot say these things, because the moment that we do, our monetization abilities go down the drain. And it's annoying because nobody can ever really talk about anything without risking the ability to make money, which is stupid because we should be able to talk about these things and have the ability to make money off of it. Not necessarily, I'm not going to try to be, making money off of depression, but we should be able to talk about it like regular people without having to worry about monetary reasons making it so we never talk about it, if that makes any sense. The amount of times and things that we could talk about when it comes to a lot of these things like suicide, we can't talk about it because when you say these types of words, people will start freaking the fuck out. And as well, everything will come up immediately, even if you discuss it. Whereas one time I was trying to just look it up how to spell it because I'm not because I am a dum-dum and don't know how to spell necessarily. So I will Google it. But then all of a sudden a bunch of like anti-suicide things come up. And I'm like, bruh, listen, all right, I get it. But I also want you to understand, I don't know how to spell. I use Google for spell check. Leave me alone. I'm not suicidal. Jesus. The fact that you have to say these types of things. And there are other words that are coming up right now and terms and things that are happening in the real world that we're not allowed to talk about, really, that are also starting to get censored in I believe they're starting to get censored in emails and other things about a particular thing that's happening in the Middle East. Just can't really go into much detail, but there's something going on over there and it's a big deal. And unfortunately, you can't really talk about it because it is being censored, and it makes you question why. That's the one thing that always pisses me off about these types of things. Nobody really asks, why are these things censored? Is it because they're too adult? But then again, there's so many things that are becoming adult all the time, every single place. So what is the point of censoring these particular things that are heavy, but yet they don't censor things like, I don't know, they don't censor sexualized things for younger people. They don't censor gambling for younger people. They don't censor alcohol or drug use for younger people. In fact, they probably encourage all of those things. But realistically, why are the subject matters in which case that are dealing with darker things in our society that aren't even necessarily that dark? Like COVID, we can talk about, but for some reason we can't talk about it. That was something that was a pretty big fucking deal in our world, but we can't talk about these things because we have to run the risk of nobody ever seeing it. And that's super disheartening. But also, why? Why can't we do it? I would like to know why. And for those who would say, oh, it's because it's too dark, we wouldn't want anybody to talk about it or anything like that, it's stupid because these are things that should be talked about so we can work past them. I think people don't work past things because they're not allowed to talk about it. And just like everything else, they always end up hiding them down deep, dark, into dark pathways, and thus they never get the light that should be shined on them, so that way they can be destroyed. But it is what it is. Anyways, there will be another episode about this maybe in the future where I come up with more ideas and more items of that we're not allowed to talk about because this world is stupid. Or at least this platform, or most social media platforms are stupid, I should say.
Whoever came up with this is an asshole. Whoever came up with this is an asshole. Ass. Hole. Asshole. Television makes a lot of sense.
And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed. None. Exercises skipped. Also none. Got everything in, thankfully. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand here. Stupid ass language changes that we now have to do in order to stay monetized. I don't know what I'm going to name this episode, but This pisses me off for a lot of different reasons, mostly because of the fact that we cannot discuss things nowadays without the worry of censorship, which is really strange because this isn't even necessarily a left or right or any type of political thing. But if you even talk about things that, generally people will deal with, like, let's say, depression or suicide, or just even if you are Australian and want to say the word cunt, that word particularly is seen as the same as the N-word. And by me saying the word cunt and N-word, you should understand that they are two completely different levels of word. That is one. But two, the fact that they've even equated that is quite literally ridiculous. And three, the idea that language like this should be desensitized in use just makes words worse, if that makes any sense. It makes our already bad language even more so terrible. Most people, it seems as though, cannot string together coherent sentences in modern society, and now we have to worry about what we say on camera when we're talking about things that really happen. Death is a thing that's all around us, but yet for some reason we can't discuss it in any sort, way, or fashion. I understand it if you're on YouTube Kids or something along those lines. That's understandable, but we're adults. At a certain point, you're going to have to talk about these things and actually have reverence for these types of things and give it the weight that it deserves rather than hushed tones and pretending it doesn't exist. But, we'll sexualize everything under the sun, but if you talk about it. For me personally, it's very frustrating when it's language, because language... Personally, maybe I'll talk about cursing in a second episode, but this is just for the space on social media. But personally, I do use a lot of colorful language, but sometimes it's a little too much. Sometimes it's not enough, because sometimes there are times where you just gotta call someone a fucking idiot. It's as simple as that, but you can't really do it in regular society. And now for some reason on video format, which should be your own place where you can template whatever you want, the moment that you do it, nope. And I'm not even talking about hard curse words here like fuck, shit, piss, whatever. I'm just saying things that you can't even talk about, like depression. The thing that happened in 2020. The fact that I have to refer to it as that. It is ridiculous. I wanted to make a video about it, but I'm like, how do I approach it? Because I literally won't be able to say the fucking name of the thing that happened. How ridiculous is that? That is... so stupid. It's like, it's been 5 years. Not only has it been 5 years, but we can't even say the name without having to be like, oh yeah, you're gonna get in trouble or whatever the fuck is gonna happen to your stupid fucking video, because for some reason some idiot somewhere decided, hey, let's just censor it all, and nobody decided, hey, maybe we should just let people talk about it because it happened in history and it wasn't even that long ago. What the fuck? I don't know. It's just very frustrating. As you can probably tell, this is a subject matter that pisses me off to no end. I even spit on the camera. That should tell you how much it pisses me off. But personally, I'm going to play along because that's all I can do until something happens where you can actually discuss things like regular human beings instead of having to use stupid language like unalived themselves, which is the most retarded thing I've ever heard. But hey, can't say retarded. But with that being said... tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this one. This one was more of a interesting one. If you have any thoughts or opinions or comments or anything, any troubles or anything you've noticed, please leave it in the comment section down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Keep it heavy. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.